Sometimes you just gotta go Bardown.
Kirill, top titty 2x4 to end the game. That was nice.
Bardown Beauties.
That's the sexy part of the game, is it not? The plays and the goals and the...
Yeah, that's what you guys like. I mean, it is great.
And now, a new episode of Bardown Beauties with Jessi Pierce and Kirsten Kroll. Hello, everybody. What's up? We're back. Bardown Beauties, episode 288. I'm Jessi Pierce, writer for NHL.com. She's Kirsten Kroll, in arena host for your Minnesota Wild, amongst all the other titles, all the other things we are going to do. Guys, training camp starts this week. So we're going to hit you with some hot takes. We're going to hit you with some bold takes. We're going to hit you with some predictions that are probably off the wall, probably a little unhinged, but that's because the season's getting going. We're going to get there. We're going to go there. We're going to talk Kirill Kaprizov too, because maybe it's time to panic. So let's kick it off. Kirsten, how are we feeling today?
I'm tired.
Yeah, that'll happen.
I don't know. I'm tired. I'm looking out my window and it looks like it's going to rain. I'm thinking of everything I have to do this week. Much going on
In the life. I was at Prospects game on Friday night. I opted out of the Chicago Blackhawks game Sunday. Minnesota losing Friday to the St. Louis Blues, beating the Chicago Blackhawks on Sunday. I don't know how I feel. Like, the Prospects tournaments to me in general are just always kind of meh, right? The fans were crazy. I loved seeing that. It was like a packed house at Tria Rink on Friday anyway. So that was kind of fun and incredible. But to me, it just seems like unnecessary. It's a lot of fighting. There's a lot of feistiness. It's a lot of guys looking to make a name. Stevie Leskovar plays a very physical game. We talked about him last year. He was out there doing the damn thing. Z Bouillon did play Friday, which I was a little kind of like, that's a decision. He did not play on Sunday. Danilia Yurov played Friday and Sunday. He won some faceoffs. And Adam Bennick was kind of the standout of the Prospects tournament, a draft pick from the 4th round this past season. Smaller dude, but looked pretty good out there. He was a guy that Greg Cronin, Iowa Wild coach, had said really stood out to him. But I don't know. There's not much to report on. To me, I kind of get it, but it's also just baby Wild players playing.
Yeah. Sorry, my brain is trying to catch up to my mouth with thoughts so far this morning. I don't know. I think fans from that standpoint, they're just excited to get a taste of hockey again and just get to see some of these prospects. Like we mentioned, I think in last week's episode, like it's a very formal, official version of Beauty League where you can get like up close to these players and get to see them. And I think people are very excited about Yurov in particular, seeing what he can do, getting a glimpse at him. So to be able to do that at Prospects, Bouillon playing surprises me slightly, but also not really. He probably just also wanted to, and to get more just reps under his belt too, leading into NHL season. Yeah, I don't know. It's exciting. Hockey's back.
Hockey is so back. We're going to talk with some Minnesota Wild players today, Monday, when we're recording this out at the Royal. There's nothing more awkward than interrupting a player's golf game to be like, hi, I know we'll talk to you in a few days, but I also need to get these questions out. Boom, boom, boom. It's kind of uncomfortable.
I'm sure they love it. I'm sure they love having people watch them when they're up to the tee.
Yes.
And just
could you think of a more stressful situation? Like, I'm for sure judging every drive that they make.
I can't imagine a more stressful situation. I know I don't like being watched. So, and I don't know, maybe if you're good, if you're like Ryan Hartman, then you're not worried. You're probably just like, yeah, watch this. But if you are like Kirill and you're terrible at golf, then I'd be like, maybe not.
You said the magic word, Kirsten. Kirill Kaprizov. I tried so hard to put away the concerns, put away the fears last week. I was like, you know what? It's fine. Everything's going to be fine. And then we learned Tuesday that he turned down the most lucrative deal in the NHL, 8 years, $128 million, which makes him the highest paid NHL player at $16 million per year, which is fairly reasonable, I would like to think. Not only did he turn that down, Elliot Friedman on his 32 Thoughts podcast the following day, Wednesday, said he believes that there are other teams that are out there offering Kirill 7 by 20. or 7x18, or there's a reason that Kirill turned down that set of money. I keep thinking it's term, right? I keep thinking it's just because the term's too long. And now it very much may be a money grab. And it very much is probably directed by Kirill. I'm now at panic mode.
I feel like a few days ago, though, you said you were up to like maybe 15%.
Right. No. Now we're at like 60.
Now you're at 60.
We jumped very hard. Like I think
Since
I've
the
taken enough
weekend.
over the weekend as I learned more, as I started hearing more whispers and talking to more people. Here are my growing list of concerns when it comes to Kirill Kaprizov, if you will. I don't love that it is a money grab. Again, I'm taking off the rose-colored glasses and seeing it as it's maybe not just about winning. Maybe it truly is about the financial implications, which, again, the Wild could pay that. They could pay $18 million a year or whatever, but then that's not going to leave them any money to build around him. It's the problem that I've always said about Edmonton, right? You're going to see how cash-strapped they are as they're still trying to fight to keep Connor McDavid. There's the money implication. There's the trade implication, which this is something I was chatting with somebody within the organization the other day, and they brought up a good point. Say Kirill's return, which is going to be tough, right? If you have to trade Kirill, and I'm saying this if you know a deal is not going to get done, you have to trade him because you can't let him go to free agency. We've talked about that time and time again. You cannot let this man walk for nothing. So if you have to trade him, one, you're going to deal with the fact that it's a rental, right? Unless you have a team that is convinced that they can re-sign him after they trade for him. So there's that kind of could lessen his value. But say the return ask on Kirill is 3 top players. And I'm talking like top tier, blockbuster trade, incredible players, right? I mean, you saw a little bit of that with the Rantanen situation, right? You see these top guys. You also need to get those top 3 players to move their no moves or no waves, because every player in the league has them now, especially the top guys. They have that protection. I don't know if they do that to come to Minnesota, right? Like, oh, you don't even have Kirill now? Like, now why am I going to come to Minnesota? That is very concerning to me as well. Like, holy cow, you might not be able to trade him because you might not find the right dance partner. Like, what? Ooh, good morning. Yeah, it's pretty high up there right now.
Yeah. Well, welcome to seeing things on my side that I have been saying.
It's crazy.
I've been saying this, that I don't think he's going to resign here.
Because you have maintained that panic level, how do you feel now hearing the latest on him?
I don't know. Like, I guess I'm not feeling surprised. I'm feeling exactly how I was before. I'm feeling like, yeah, I'm just not surprised, I guess. I don't know. I will say this. Even if the Wild did throw 7x20 on the table, matching the highest paid offers, which is, I mean, what Craig Leopold said. Craig Leopold said they'll pay him anything that he wants. Right. Obviously, we don't want that. We saw that with Ryan Suter, Zach Parise, when we paid them up the wazoo. We got into the buyout situation. They were strapped into a max contract. You can't build a team, like you had just said, you can't build a team around that. You're not going to have money to pay anybody else. You're going to put yourself in a situation where Kirill's being paid everything. What do you have to offer anybody else? It's going to put us in a bad situation. Yes, Kirill's talented. He's worth a high-paying contract. We want him to stay, but at what cost?
Right.
Like, if it's the cost of being a contender in the future, if you pay him everything and you're not getting any better, it's not worth it.
And we're going to get into predictions. Do you think this team is a contender in the near future as it sits?
I think they have a legitimate chance to make a deeper push in the playoffs because they have that wiggle room.
Mm-hmm. Beginning this year? Like, do you think that they win a playoff round this year?
I think they could. I think a lot of that's contingent too, though, on how our young players are going to do once they come up and play their first NHL games, or Steve Bouillon playing his actual first NHL season. I don't know. And that's hard for me to say because we haven't seen like some of these guys play an NHL game before that are going to be coming up, such as Yurov. So I'm hesitant. I think my answer is it's going to be really dependent on how they perform.
And I have to imagine depending on how much of a distraction this entire situation remains for the bulk of the season, right? Like if Kirill's re-signed, great, we can all move on our merry way. We don't have to pester about it. He doesn't have to go to visiting cities and be asked about it. And the focus remains on the season and his output and his production and what that future looks like. If he doesn't re-sign, or as this drags into March, as you had predicted a few episodes ago, I don't know. I think that's going to be just a mentally exhausting for all the players. And I think that can change the dynamic in the room too. Like, also, do you think this changes the dynamic in the room in general? Right? Like,
1,000%. Everyone's thinking about it.
Right.
And quite frankly, I feel in a way, I don't see how it doesn't cause a little bit of animosity.
Yeah. Like, I don't want to put words in players' mouths. And again, I'm excited to hear them. And not that any of them are going to be honest with us. Like, I'd take 16 million. Like, they would all happily take 16 million a year, right? Like, I think it's got to be a little awkward. I also have to wonder how this changes the fan base's opinion on Kirill. We know here in Minnesota, we don't like you if you don't like us. And if we perceive you to not like us, then it's a quick turnaround. Like, the amount of people in my mentions after the news broke that he had turned down, or, sources that said that he had turned down that offer, was just trade him, just get rid of him, just get rid of him. And I was like, okay, let's take a breath. Like, let's take a deep, deep breath and a moment to digest it all. But he's a fan, he's beloved, right? He's a fan favorite. He is everything. And Minnesota fans, I think, are starting to perceive him a little bit differently.
If he doesn't resign, he's going to get the cold shoulder. We've seen that happen time and time again across not even just hockey, any sport here in Minnesota.
It's just so.
But also my concern too is, and I don't forgive my wording because I'm just kind of thinking out loud here. He's in his prime right now. You sign him you're throwing all this money at him, sign him to a longer deal. Yes, he's still going to be a star, but if he's already in his prime, what does that entail for the tail end of that contract? Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, it seems for like a 7-year deal, you're kind of taking a gamble towards the end. I don't know. I understand caps going up a little bit. And also that leaves the question too, if you're throwing all this money at Kirill, what is Connor McDavid going to get paid? Like, Kirill's not Connor McDavid.
No. Kirill has not carried his team to a conference final, carried his team to a Stanley Cup final. Connor has done that.
Twice.
Right. Twice. Yeah. It's 7x20. Could you? Yeah, exactly. If you give him 7x20, McDavid's got to get at least 22. I don't think
even then that seems like a little too close. Like,
yeah.
At the end of the day, we all know it. Kirill is not Connor McDavid.
No.
And I'm sure Connor McDavid wants to get paid more than just $2 million more per year than Kirill. Like, I think McDavid's worth that.
Yeah. I don't know. It'll be interesting. Again,
I want to know what teams are throwing $20 million a year. Like, that's a lot.
New York,
probably
Chicago. Like, I think you have plenty of teams that have room.
How does Chicago have that much money though? When you have Bedard, who's gonna
you haven't paid, you don't have to pay him yet.
You don't have to pay him yet, but you're going to.
Yeah, that's next year's problem. That's not this year's problem, right? Like, you could feasibly look at it that way, and like you'll always make room for what you want. And not gonna lie, Kirill Kaprizov and Connor Bedard together sounds mighty fun to watch. Not if you're a Wild fan, but from a hockey perspective.
Yeah, but if you're throwing $20 million a year at Kirill, how are you going to pay Bedard? I don't know. And then everyone else on your team.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't do the money. I can barely manage my own money in my household, let alone the entire cap of a team. But either way, let's get into some season predictions. Again, recording this on a Monday, so if we might have to, you could end up nuking this. He could sign tomorrow, and we could just nuke this entire conversation. But we'll find out. Let's start with player-focused predictions, Kirsten. What is a player-focused prediction you have for the Minnesota Wild heading into the 25-26 season?
Define player-focused. Like, there's
I'll go with
this
one.
That.
Matt Boldy hits 40 goals and he's like the very clear-cut secondary scorer to Kirill Kaprizov, which hasn't always been the case. So that's that's one I've got for you.
Yeah, I think that's good. I don't know. I think in the same realm, I think Philip Gustafson, Vezina finalist.
Ooh, there we go.
Yeah.
I'm going to counter that. I'm going to say Jesper Velstedt is pushing for Gus's starting position come spring, which would mean that Gus is kind of wavering. I know. Do you think they talk? When do you think discussions with Philip Gustafson begin for an extension?
I think like ASAP.
Before you see, like, you don't want to give
I think
him a
before the
dose.
season.
Okay.
Like,
you want to give him a dose of like where's his game at?
I mean, I do, but using Bill Guerin's own words, these things take time. They're probably beginning the discussions as soon as possible, or at least like starting the conversation.
Okay. All right. You go Vezina finalist for Gus. I'm going to go with Kirill Kaprizov, scores 54 goals this year. Again, he has not had a 50-goal season yet. He has been dangerously close. And he's going to score a lacrosse-style goal.
Michigan?
Yeah.
Michigan?
The Michigan.
Well,
he's going to go Mish on it.
My other one, Kirill doesn't resign.
Can't say that. It's already been done.
Matt Boldy scoring 40 goals was already done last week.
We said 85 points.
But you broke it down and said like 40 goals.
Did I?
So that one was already done then too. If I can't use my Kirill doesn't resign.
How about Ryan Hartman will break his own record for penalty minutes, but he's also going to score 20 goals this year.
Break his own record? So you think he's
not
not
a career
year
year in penalty minutes?
Well, I will counter you. I think he plays a clean season.
A clean season.
I mean,
Ryan
not
Hartman.
like entirely clean. Of course, you're going to take some penalties, but I don't think he breaks his penalty record.
Well, I think he does. Because you could still, you could have that grittiness to your game. I don't think it would bother me too much. Maybe it would. Let's see. I have to look up something. NHL draft class of 2020.
Ooh, I have another player-focused one that is
Give it to
maybe
me.
controversial because I
Give
don't
it to
know
me.
what's going on. Jonas Brodin retires at the end of the by the end of the season.
Forced retirement because of injury?
Correct.
Okay. How does that make you feel personally?
It doesn't make me feel good. I'll tell you that right now. It's not what I want, but right now the news doesn't sound good either about whatever he's dealing with, which some can presume his back.
Yeah, that's a big question. We had, if you guys recall, we asked Bill Guerin about Jonas Brodin following Marco Rossi's re-signing, and he didn't want to talk about it. He said he wanted to wait until September, obviously, to get more clarity on the situation. It does sound like his re-aggravated injury or whatever he's dealing with is not related to like gameplay. Like he played in the World Championships. It's not related to that. Like it was an off-season workout injury, which isn't great either. Mm-hmm. I almost would rather have it be in a game situation.
Yeah. But also, this is, I think, why it's so concerning to me, because if it's his back and granted, I'm not saying it's the same situation. It probably isn't. But you saw TJ Oshie get forced into an early retirement because of all of his back issues. Mm-hmm. Not saying, because I don't know that it's that same extent, but just tricky injury. And if he's been plagued with it repeatedly, I don't know. It makes me very nervous.
So does Jack Johnson make the team out of camp, given his professional tryout contract?
Maybe. I think they're giving him a PTO for a reason.
Well, right. But yeah, I mean, that blue line, I don't know how I feel about that blue. You still have your top four solid, given that Zeev Buium performs as he does, right? Like, maybe that would go. I have another fun one that I wrote down this morning, so pardon me. Marco Rossi is going to outproduce a former top 5 pick from his 2020 draft class. So, mind you, the top 5 picks for 2020, the year that the Wild selected Rossi at number 9. Number 1 was Alex Lafreniere by the New York Rangers. You had Quentin Byfield, who went number 2. Tim Stützle went 3. Lucas Raymond went 4, and Jake Sanderson went 5. Jamie Drysdale and Alexander Holtz and Jack Quinn also went ahead of Marco Rossi. But I think that seems reasonable.
Yeah, I think that is also reasonable.
Right. Tim Stutzel's good in there. Jake Sanderson can be really good too. Quentin Byfield. I mean, I think Marco Rossi can outproduce. I'm telling you, the kid, chip on his shoulder.
He does his best with a chip on his shoulder, much like myself.
Exactly.
Maybe that's why I like him so much.
That could be. Maybe that makes a lot of sense.
It does.
You feel that you're like the Marco Rossi.
Maybe.
Podcast just can't keep you down.
You can't. And then I have my moments where it's like, I was onto something.
Exactly. How about team predictions? How we feeling? How we vibing for the team? I think the Wild are going to be leading the Central Division by Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Not to piggyback, but yes, I have a good feeling about the start of this season. Maybe because of how strong they started last year and up until they were plagued with injury.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm very optimistic and hopeful. Team predictions, I don't know. 25th anniversary. I think it's going to bring some good juju.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do think they win the first round of the playoffs. I'm not convinced they are going to make a deep run yet. Again, that's a lot of unknowns and unseens. And a lot of that's dependent on health and player performance, obviously. I do think they'll win the first round, though. If they can replicate anything similar to what they did last season in round 1 against the Golden Knights, I think it feels pretty good.
Yeah.
You mentioned the 25th anniversary. A lot of people, and I'm not a big sweater connoisseur, if you will. Like jerseys to me they're fine.
I am a big sweater connoisseur, so I'm intrigued by where you're going with this.
So a lot of people are upset that the anniversary patch is on the shoulder versus having a more prominent placement. What say you?
I feel if I didn't see the comments on it, I wouldn't have thought about it. Quite honestly. I think in a sense it is kind of prominent depending, like it's going to stand out when they're on the ice playing. I feel honestly it's probably a little more prominent, more visible where it is on the sleeve than if it was just right on the front of it. Like they're normally like players cowered over. I think you're going to see it more with it being on the sleeve. But aesthetically, maybe I would have moved it.
I think
it's in a different spot. It's different than what other teams have done. And I think that's also what people don't like.
That's probably true.
I'm kind of just honestly indifferent to it.
Yeah. I mean, again, for me, that's not really my wheelhouse. Like I don't particularly get too deep into like, oh, this jersey and this jersey. I mean, I love like the old school retro vibes of things, but I don't dive into the details fully or, the aesthetics of it. It feels safe. Like it's kind of boring. Maybe is that like, that could be why, right? Like it feels kind of like, oh, okay. It doesn't feel as celebratory as it could be.
I don't know. I think the patch itself is cool. Like they still have the alternate jerseys they're going to be wearing for a few select games. Like that's going to be more prominent than just the patch.
That's true.
So I don't know. Once I see what I'm so freaking excited to see the alternate jersey. I've been waiting like a full year to see these. I have not seen them. I'm so excited. You know how much I love the original Wild.
I love that OG jersey.
I'm obsessed. Like the claw marks, just everything about it. I'm obsessed. So when I see those alternates, I'm just like drooling at the thought of them.
I'm scared for you because I'm scared that they're going to be not good and you're going to be so disappointed and I'm going to have to like coddle you and be like, it's okay.
No, they're going to be good. They're going to be good.
I mean, yeah, maybe.
Because respectfully, they're not going to be North Stars. They're not going to be North Stars inspired. They're going to be early 2000s inspired.
I mean, that's fair.
I love those jerseys so much.
What's crazy is I was working through like different story angles and ideas on how to like really play up the 25 years, yada, yada. And I was like, it'd be great to talk to Brock about it, but he wasn't born. Like he didn't really, like he's 3 years younger than, I came like 3 years into this franchise.
Can't really ask me either. I was 4 years old.
So in 2000 you were 4? Okay. Yeah, no, that's weird. That's wild. No pun intended. Like I was like, oh.
I don't remember anything from when I was 4 years old.
That makes me sad because I make all these incredible memories for my children in hopes that they will fondly. Because it's just going to get harder. Like, I don't know how many memories we're going to keep having.
I think they'll remember things, but also you've taken so many pictures. You can just
pictures.
show them.
I can show them everything. It's going to be great. What about some fun off-ice predictions? Like, who do you think is going to be the best dressed? Marc-Andre Fleury claimed that prize pretty easily. Marcus Johansson always looks kind of nice too, but who do you think is going to like rock the best fits on entrance to the rink?
Ooh. Well, I can tell you who won't be. So now I'm doing.
Okay, yeah, do that.
I mean, Jewel Eriksson-Ek,
Hmm.
Jonas Brodin.
We need to get
If
these
we
boys
do
away
get to
from
see
the
him play
beanies.
this season.
Yeah.
Oof. There was another one on the tip of my tongue. Honestly, maybe Matt Boldy. He had some really good pea coats last year.
And I feel like he's really good. I mean, most of the guys are good at getting the fitted suits, right? Like the custom fit, and like that's always nice. Like their suits fit them well. I want to see somebody kind of just go crazy with it. Like have a little bit more fun even.
For whatever reason, I want to say, but it's hard because I didn't see his game day outfits with other teams because I never paid attention. For whatever reason, I want to say like, and it could go either way. It could either be terrible or it's going to be really good. Vladimir Tarasenko. For whatever reason, I'm kind of leaning towards like maybe he's going to have some good suits. Because they still have one more year until they can dress however the F they want.
Mm-hmm. Which I still feel is going to be a lot of suits. Like hockey players in particular, I think are so, at least like the older ones, right? This is how we've always done it and we're by design. And it's like, and frankly, and I think Bill Guerin had said this when he was on with the 10K Takes kids last week too. He's like, it's nice because you don't have to think about what you're going to wear. Like you could just kind of get up and go. It's one less thing that you have to give any thought to on a game day, which makes a ton of sense.
Maybe if you're Connor McDavid, you just wear the same suit every single game day. Also, can we talk about how he walked out with, I just want to talk about Connor McDavid constantly all the time.
Yes, let's go.
And when Morgan Wallen had his concert in Edmonton, he was part of like Morgan's infamous walkout.
Yeah.
Kind of iconic, like not really showing much. He just, I don't know.
He just still looked like him. He just looked so, I need to know what goes on in his head. I would like to hang out with him away from hockey to see like, are you as boring as I think you are? He reminds me so much of like Joe Mauer, who again, I adore Joe Mauer, but I'm just like, you're not really livening up a party to me. And it's hard for me to like balance that.
He's probably just so cool. I feel like Connor is so cool, but doesn't let anyone see it. I don't know. He does all of these things that I wouldn't think that he would do, like listening to Nickelback, like assumingly like hanging out with Morgan Wallen. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it'll
I want to know what his favorite Morgan Wallen song is.
Did you see that one of their political leaders was like, our country is in crisis, and like shouted out that Connor hasn't resigned yet?
Yes, I did. And that was iconic.
If he doesn't stay in Edmonton, does he stay in Canada? Like, does he go with the Canadian team? Like, Ottawa's got to probably have some money.
I don't think he does. I think he comes to the States. Where's he from? Canada?
He's from Canada. I think he's from, well, let's see. Crosby and McKinnon are from the same place, right? Connor McDavid is, I know he's from Canada, obviously. He's from Richmond Hill, Canada, which means absolutely nothing to me. It's Ontario. So he's an Ontario boy. Yeah, I don't know. I'm curious how long he plays that. Because that's the other thing. Like, is he waiting out Kirill? Is Kirill waiting out him?
Well, Kirill shouldn't be waiting out McDavid. He shouldn't be getting paid what McDavid's going to get paid. Like,
I know.
They're not the same.
They're not the same. But they seem to think, I need it to be done. Over under how many times I'm going to have to ask Bill Guerin about the Kaprizov situation? Over under 30.
Over. This is going to get dragged out. I feel it.
I'm not ready.
I told you March.
Does Bill Guerin make a blockbuster trade, whether that's related to Kirill or not? I think so too.
I feel that in my bones.
Yes, I agree. I think that's going to happen. My crystal ball suggests that that's for sure a guarantee. Does Marco Rossi get traded?
No.
Okay. Well,
No,
you
he
could sign him.
doesn't.
I'm just asking. Like maybe that's another name. Does Marcus?
I feel
Does
like you
Liam?
like to throw Marco around a lot. I really
does
do.
Does Liam Ogren make the opening night roster?
Yes, because I think he deserves to, and everyone wants to see him over Marcus Johansson. I don't know. For whatever reason, I kind of feel like Liam could be on the trade block later.
I mean, it could yield a good return, right? Again, a first round pick. He could be something to sweeten the pot. Does I always confuse the two. Hunter Haight and Riley Height. Does Hunter Haight get a look at camp, do you think? Is he going to be who's going to be the darling from training camp? I think Hunter might be.
Maybe. I don't know. That's harder for me to say because I will be admittedly say I'm not as familiar with all of our prospects as
That's
we should
fair.
be.
Hunter had some speed, man. Like there was one goal in particular, I think, to tie the game early on in the first period. And man, did he cruise down there. It was funny. Minnesota Wild PR guy Aaron Sicken was right there. He's like, yeah, that's just a smidge faster than me. Like just a smidge. Like he was flying, just took off. It was kind of incredible to watch.
Love that for him. We could use more speed.
We could use more speed. And does Matt Zuccarello score 20 goals this year?
No.
Does he stay on a line with Kaprizov the entire season? Does he? I mean, he starts there.
I think it's going to ebb and flow. He might start there, but much like last season, it'll get changed up.
That's fair. I wanted to see what Zuki had last year. So last year, for the record, for those curious, Matt Zuccarello had 19 goals. The last time he had 20 goals was in 22-23 when he potted 22 goals in 78 games. So,
also, if you stay on a line with Kirill, like you're feeding Kirill the puck.
Right, but in that thing,
his assists are going to be higher.
He only had 35 assists last year, but he had 51 the year prior. Do you think he can get back closer to that 50 assist mark?
I think it's very contingent on if he's on a line with Kaprizov, because I think this past season, if I remember correctly, he did not play with Kaprizov as much as the year prior.
Well, and Kaprizov was out too, so that didn't help. Does Yurov stay as a center, or do you see him moving to a wing at some point?
I see maybe for a few games moving to wing. I feel like a lot of my answers are very contingent. Like I think pending injuries.
Yeah, but you just got to commit. We just got to say, yep, I can't,
because it's very nuanced.
I'm moving him to a wing at some point. It might be crazy, it might be fine, but I don't know. It took him a minute to get into the groove of those face-offs in the prospects game, I thought. Now he's been doing it for 2 years. I had asked Yurov actually last week too what he thought. His English is still a little rocky, but he powered through it. Kudos to him. He didn't have a translator with him, but he definitely said that he is comfortable. He feels good playing center. He said, but obviously I'll play wherever the team wants me to play, which, right answer, kid.
Correct.
But yeah. All right. So we have the Wild leading the Central Division come Thanksgiving. We have Kirill Kaprizov getting 50 goals, but not re-signing with the Minnesota Wild. And Marco Rossi outproducing his draft classmates. And that's where we're at. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this week's episode of Bardown Beauties. As always, we appreciate every single one of you. Rate, share, subscribe, like, love. Shout out to our friends at Soda Stick. And yeah, we will catch you at the rink very, very soon on behalf of Kirsten and myself. Have a great rest of your week.